Hello. I'm back again with another keyboard build. The one-up keyboards, they always include a sticker. Pi 40, which, well, we can pan down now to show you the pieces, at least most of them. Everything that I'm going to have to solder. So these are most of the pieces, just leaving off the screws, the standoffs, and the bump-ons for the base here. But yeah, so this is the Pi 40. Called that because it's using the Raspberry Pi Pico, which this will go right here. So that's where the Pi comes from, the 40, because it is a 40% ortholinear. So this is what that plate looks like, and here's a actually damaged 60% plate. Give you an idea of the different size. It's going to be interesting learning to type on this, but that's part of the reason why I got it. I am curious. I want to see what that's going to be like. And here, if I align the holes so you can see, so right now these line up, and as you can see these don't quite, because the normal layout has them staggered versus ortholinear. I've already done some preparation here, putting on the adhesive strips there to help with the stabilizers. By the way, I'm not using the stabilizer this came with. I'm using a spare one that I have for a previous build, from a previous build. So yeah, we'll have the 47, because 12 across, 12, 12, 11. The space is going to be a 2U, that's where the stabilizer needs to go. And they will also all have RGB LEDs we can put in, and thankfully, over here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but they have legs on them. I've had to try soldering some that don't have legs and you have to bridge, not fun. These should be a lot better. And for switches, I'm going to be using these. The Duroc T1 Sunflower, because the stems have been colored yellow, which I also got from OneUp. And by the way, all this I paid for. They did not provide any of it. I was happy to get this because this is partly just to satisfy my curiosity. I'm going to be doing that for switches, and for keycaps I got some from Drop. They look like that, and we'll get better shots of those later when actually putting them on. But these are also kind of different because they have a uniform keycap profile, so I could put these wherever I want. It'll all feel the same, as opposed to some keycaps that have a sort of curved profile to reach to your fingers more so. I've already put joints on 4 of the 4 corners for the Pi Pico, so it is affixed there, and then I will go in and solder in more, but I just want to point out a couple things about this. There's a lot more pins than this keyboard needs. So what OneUp Keyboards did in their designer is these are breakout pins, so they connect to the unused ones. So if you wanted to, say, set up a connection to a speaker, I guess would be one possibility, you can actually just wire it in right there. You don't need to worry about any other connection or trying to directly connect to the surface here. Nope, you have the holes right there. And also one thing that I did not notice initially, this is a micro USB connection. I thought it was USB-C. That's fine, I got the cables. But I was a little surprised by that, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Alright, and let's get to soldering more of these. It is an interesting thing because of this castellated design. Ooh, that's not really what I wanted. That could be worse, though. Right now. So that's just very heavy on the other pad than I was trying to, but fortunately solder connections solder will try to just go to the pad and isn't necessarily going to just always bridge. So I'm just going to, yeah, let's see if I can, nope, that's just going to be staying there. I can clean that up later. But I'm also going to go a little bit away from it for now. Perfect. That looks good. Solder is not my favorite smell in the morning, but I am certainly getting it. Alright, there. That might be connected, could probably use a little bit more. Okay. So what I'm doing here, in case it's not super clear in the video, okay, I'm putting a small dot of the solder on the side near the end of the tip, and then I'm just putting it against the pad and bringing it up onto the castellation so that the heat and gravity should have it flow where it needs to. And this one isn't the happiest on that flowing, of course, but I'll be able to get it in there. That's not a problem. Oh, perfect. Okay. That one's good because of that. All right. They are marked to debug, so it may not be a bad idea to get them hooked up regardless. Ooh, that's beautiful. This is definitely, I think, the best way to do the touch-up. Is you just go against it in like that. So yeah, have the controller in, so the next is to put in the diodes, which I have 4 in here, and as you can see, they're in groups of 4. You do need to align them carefully. So on this end, there's a black bar on one side of the diode. That aligns with the white edge, the white bar here, but it's also, you can see, this pad is square, this is circular, so that's another way to know. Bang them like this, so at the sides of the diode, and hopefully without any kinks in the wire. I want this to look good. Like that. Slide it in, and then flip it over and fold them down like that to hold it in place. You will be able to solder on either side. Like I could solder from this side, I can solder from the other side. I think I will do from the other side. And by the way, these diodes could be next to the switches on several keyboards. In fact, I think all the keyboards I currently have, that's how they are. They're next to the switches. But some keyboards like this have this new design, have this different design where you have them all collected together, in part because, it lets you show off the electronics, which is kind of neat, kind of fun. So, yeah, all the diodes are in place. We'll get to soldering them on the back. Just one thing I didn't really talk about before. This is the plate for the switches. You'll notice it doesn't cover the entire height. This covers the other half, which I still have the protective layer on there, but it's a piece of clear acrylic. Over here's the hole for the rotary encoder. But it is so that these are protected, but still visible. Alright. And just for some protection, that for the table, but unfortunately it's kind of the same color. So with that, you can get to soldering these in. Come on, there we go. Use a little bit more. That's the first 12 with varying amounts of flux. There we go. Yeah, one issue with flux, more fumes. That's gonna need more. Yeah, some of them they bled through a lot, like that one right there. So this is purely for aesthetics. Alright. Alright, so the next step for this is to put in the RGB LEDs. This is one of them. It's currently face down because that's the way it needs to go in. This is the back. And one thing, it has 4 legs. We've had to deal with ones where it's not, it's just pure surface mount. We'd have to figure out some way to keep it from just falling all the way through. Well, here, don't need to. In fact, it just very nicely rests like that. Alright, so using a chisel tip here, hoping that that works well. Here, should really just put some on the... That's going to be more than I need. Going to need to do some cleanup. So now with it on there, I'm trying to just like apply heat to make sure that it's connecting down to the pad. And this is why I went with the chisel tip, so I have that flat surface I can work with. One thing though I'm going to do, put some flux on these first. I'm just worrying about it on the pads, not going to worry about it on the LEDs. It would be so much harder to get it onto those legs. And this should still do a decent job of what I want it all to do. Alright. Oh my god, all 10. I am amazed that all 10 are working. The fact that all 10 came out means that I soldered them all incorrectly, and they are in series, so this is actually very important to note. So this is the first one, that's the 12th one. If I hadn't soldered in this one correctly, these would not be lighting up. If this one wasn't soldered in correctly, it is possible it wouldn't light up either. If it's only those that are lighting up, check the soldering on this one, and then plug it in again and see how far you go. Wow. I can't believe I'm actually not needing to go back. 2 down, 2 to go. 4, 5, 6. Wow. Still amazed. Time to find out if I am that lucky. I am. Wow. Alright, so next is the OLED that goes right here. To get the OLED soldered in place, which to help with that, put a little bit of an alien type thing there, so just something adhesive. We don't have it, the protective cover is still on the one side, so it's not going to adhere in place, but it helps as far as keeping it aligned there. So now I need to get some solder on this, and even just one pin to help hold it will be good. Not exactly the best with the chisel tip though. I'm going to get this one a little bit cleaner, and then I'm just going to flux it. Okay. And I'm very tempted to go to the other tip as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to go to the fine tip. Okay. Yeah, that does seem a bit easier. Oh yeah, that one's good. Alright. Now, once again, moment of truth kind of thing. All it's saying is one up. Oh, no, there we go. Before we can get into the switches, because the plate will have to go on, need to put in the stabilizer, which I'm using this spare 2U stabilizer that I got for a different build. And as I said, it was spare. This is going to be a bit nicer than the clip-in that was provided. Washer and screw. Yep. And I did take the time to lubricate these, and as has been visible throughout this, I already put in the adhesive cloth, basically just pieces of a Band-Aid, to help deaden the sound. But really, the main noise I'm concerned with from a stabilizer is rattle. Yeah, and one thing that is annoying is if I need to go in and try to put more lubricant in there, I'll need to take off the keycaps that'll be here and go at it that way. So now to put in all the switches, which will be a little tricky, just because, you know, there's nothing actually supporting the plate at the moment. In theory, I could screw it in place, but then I'd have to unscrew it. So for now, I'm just going to do it this way, using this tool to provide some support. One thing to check while doing this is that the pins are straight. You do not want to have to straighten them. So make sure they go in straight and all that, which fortunately it's not like with a hot swap. The holes are large enough. It's not like just the installation should bend them, unless you really are putting them in cockeyed. And it's also worth noting these are south facing, the LEDs to the south side, not the north side, which won't be a problem for me, but for some, there's the cherry profile. There can be interference with the switch if they are north facing. Now at this point, there should be enough mechanical support from the plate being in the other switches that it's not necessary to support it, though I do want to still try to be next to them. So doing this one randomly would not necessarily be the best idea. And I'll say it once again, these are the Dirac T1 Sunflower switches that you can also get at 1UP keyboards. Except for the keycaps, all the stuff I purchased from 1UP. See, that's one that the pin was bent on. So fix it before putting it in. needle nose pliers would actually help with that, and I just wanted to make sure, because I've been giving cursory glances too. The T1s are a tactile switch, which I like my tactiles. And I was comparing them to the Purple Pandas and the W4s. They are a sharper feeling, so not quite as rounded as the Purple Pandas or the W4s. And one thing interesting is the W4s could completely depress the stem of these. So, like if you go like this, it was basically doing that. I'm not sure why. This one is apparently stronger than the other, but it was completely depressing it before moving itself. But they felt the same when just in my fingers going like that. There. Oh, that one. Oh, no, it didn't go in completely on one side. Did it? Okay. There we go. It did not want to snap down. Ta-da! I want to do a quick check of something. 1, 2, use spacebar. Checking the stabilizer. Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's boring, but I'm gonna just flux all of them. There we go. Perfect. So the switches are all soldered in place now, and I tested they are all working except I don't know about this one, and this one, because they activate layers and I don't have it set up for just seeing if the keys were activated or not. And I forgot to look at the OLED. Anyway, last piece of soldering is for the rotary encoder here. So I've already put it in, which wasn't that easy. These two sides, they don't do anything electrically, but they are there for support, and I needed to flatten them a little bit to fit it in. So now we can solder it all in. It doesn't suck up like the pins do, but that's okay. Alright. All looks good. Set that there, and this way. The sun coming in might be hard, but cycle left, right. Oh, that is not changing. Hang on. Okay, so that's right. Oh, no, it's left and right. Okay. Put that on. Okay. The rotary encoder is set to control the RGB lighting. So aside from screwing things into place, this is done. So, last bit, Before the back plate, well, it is just the case assembly. I'm going to put the acrylic on first, so I already peeled off one side. There's the other, and it'll be going down like that. I need to finish putting in the screws and standoffs, and then I can screw it in from the other side of the PCB, and that will be done. You know how to put this on, how it aligns, because where the hole is, and this edge is rounded, this edge is not. You can do that to help hold it. And except for the last screws, that is what it looks like when done. Alright. There. So that is it, all put together, less the keycaps, which are right here. Trying to remember where some of the stuff goes. And that's it.